So today we're going to just show you how to do a quick, easy summer salad with everything that's in season right now. I know there's lots of cookouts, lots of get-togethers, all that stuff this time of year, and sometimes it's hard to kind of decide what you're going to take, what you don't want to spend hours cooking, you want to be with your friends, you want to be with your family without having to be in the kitchen so much. So this is a really good dish for us to do that with. So what we just have some tomatoes, some cucumber, peach, corn. We've got a little baby bok choy here, which is very interesting. It's kind of a weird cross between a milder green, and it kind of has a basil-y, like a mild basil flavor too. So it's kind of fun to use a new ingredient that way. But we're actually going to start with our raw corn. Has anyone ever eaten raw corn before? Okay, cool. So one of the easiest ways to get your raw corn is just to kind of hold it like this and cut down the side into a shallow bowl. And if you get some of that corn milk in there that's splashing all over, that is a good thing because that's a lot of flavor. This is quick, easy, you don't have to cook it. Getting lots of vitamin C with this, getting lots of good fiber and nutrition from all of these veggies. We're just going to cut it the other way, make sure we're using all of it. And I think raw corn is one of those things you kind of don't really realize you can eat raw sometimes. Like, my dad grew up on a farm where you could just pick it off, you know, when it's cooking. And that's something that I wasn't really used to. You eat it frozen, you eat it, you know, you boil it, you grill it, you do all this stuff, so it's kind of cool to see a different way to do it and do it in a raw salad. Now we're also going to use one of these tomatoes. We're going to kind of core the inside out, but we're going to use it as a vessel. So if you're looking for something that looks like a lot of work, that's pretty fancy, that really requires minimal effort, making a veggie cup is one of the best things you can do. And I'm all about making things look a little more difficult than they are when it only takes me just a few minutes. So we're just going to kind of cut around the inside, pop the top off. I'm just going to take a spoon and scoop out this inside here. And we're actually going to use the inside of this in our summer salad here. And you don't want to scoop all the way to the bottom. It's going to have some heft to it. Make sure you leave a little in the bottom. You can do this with zucchini, you can do it with cucumbers, you can do it with anything. But it's a really nice way to get some of the summer flavor in a different way. So we're just going to kind of rough chop this. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's what I call rustic chopping. It's supposed to look imperfect. It's not supposed to be uniform. Alright, we're just going to throw that in there with the juices. The next thing we're going to do is a peach. Just going to chop it right up. I'm only going to use half this because we're just doing half a recipe here. Does anybody ever make salsas or summer salads like this? Or had success doing something, mixing the fruit and the veggies in the past? It's really easy to do. Did a cooking class last week and we made a tomato and peach salsa with some jalapeno, some red onion, and we put a little honey in there, and it was delicious. Quick, easy, same kind of thing, just throw it in there. Not to cut my finger off. Alright.
For those of you who are new to Louisville, peaches are coming out right now. So.
Yeah, I had grown up in Vermont. The cucumbers are the only thing that are in season right now.
Well, and peaches are one of those things where, you know, you really want to get one that's in season, that's a little firm. When you're using a peach in like a salsa or a dish like this, you don't have to have it like just dripping apart, you know, falling off the pit. But you do want to do like a little indentation so it keeps a firm texture and it doesn't fall apart and get all soggy in the actual dish that you're making. And we just have a cucumber here. We're just going to dice this. Some people do not like cucumber seeds, so you could always aim for the English cucumbers, which typically have less seeds than the regular. Or you could just scoop the seeds out of the regular if that's what you had laying around. Just going to toss that in there. And then the last thing we're going to do, you could actually just tear this or you could cut it up. Just going to remove these stems a little bit and I'll give it a rough chop and we'll just throw it in there. This would be really good with arugula or basil. We are going to put lime in there, so you could actually do raw kale. If you let it sit for a while, the acidity from the lime will actually break it down a little bit, so it's not that tough, chewy texture so much. But this gave us the opportunity to use something a little different that we hadn't used before.
And that was at the farmer's market.
Yes. We're just going to toss that in there. And then I have half a lime here. This is not from Kentucky. This is from Kroger, but you can't win them all. So we need that citrus. We're just going to squeeze that right on top. And that'll help bring out some of the sweetness from the peach, but it'll also cut some of the acidity from the tomato. We're just going to add salt and pepper, whatever you like. I'm a big pepper person, so I tend to add a little more. And then we're just going to add a little bit of olive oil here. Just a couple of drizzles.
Purchased for the guy outside?
This was actually not purchased from the gentleman
He's not there
outside.
today?
Come back.
He didn't come back. He was here twice.
But you could
Primo,
always
yeah.
purchase if he isn't here.
Yeah.
Yes, Primo Oils, it is a local proprietor. They have a store.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're,
And his stuff is delicious.
it's a lot of good flavor. St. Matthew's.
So that's pretty much the salad part, and then we're just gonna, typically you would let that sit for about 15 minutes, and we have some made up that we let sit. But you just kind of fill it up in the tomato. Make sure some of the green stuff is on top so it's nice and pretty. You could top it with a little pepper, give it a little extra oomph, and that's basically it. You could use some, if you had leftover chicken or cooked shrimp or crab or whatever you had protein-wise, you can mix in here. If you're vegetarian, you can mix in black beans would probably be pretty good, or chickpeas or something like that to up the protein if you wanted to do it for a meal. But it's just a really quick and easy thing that looks a little more fancy than it is and really only takes a few minutes to create. So we do have samples for you guys. We also have some delicious bread from Flour Power out there. You can see it's really bright and colorful.
I'll take it from here.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go over the list.
Yeah. So we got the cucumbers from Gypsy Ridge Farm out here. The tomatoes came from Grady's Delight. Like I said, the whole wheat Italian bread, garlic bread had come from Flour Power. The baby bok choy came from Laminga Cooperative, and then the corn came from Jackson's Produce. So we got all the stuff local right here. The peaches came from Low Creek. So it's something you could easily do, not a heavy summer meal on a day like today when it's so hot you don't want to turn your oven on. Something you could do really quick at home. Throw in some leftover protein or some beans or whatever to make it a meal without having to heat the entire house up on the stove or the oven. Does anybody have any questions?
Are you
Comments?
gonna taste on, are you gonna try yours? You have to taste it on yours?
Sure.
See how good you are.
Very good. I have to say I'm impressed with myself. I did this all by myself. But you could easily use lemon if that's all you had. That would be fine. You know, you could dice a jalapeno in there if you like things a little spicier. Don't be afraid to play with it. You can really use whatever you have. And like I said, it's just really quick and easy. And it's pretty, which also helps when you're trying to eat healthier. So, does anybody have any questions or comments? Did you guys like it?
Yeah, great.
Really like it? Good.
Thank you, Amber.
You're welcome. Thank you guys.